Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Josh Tech Soldier. Um, this is a response video to Aurora Peachy and her episode one of Crystal Cast. I just want to say I am so excited about the re the relaunch of Sailor Moon. I've always been a big Sailor Moon fan, a big anime fan in general, but definitely Sailor Moon is one of those animes that I will always go back to and always, watch over and over again. So this is kind of like a response to your first Crystal Cast. There were some things you talked about that I want to talk about too. So I guess because I'm like riding your coattails in a way, but not really. I just wanted to express it because I was really excited to hear your Crystal Cast and your reactions. Your reactions are great. I love your reactions and everyone else's reactions. I need to get a camera. So I have a camera, but it just died on me. Like literally just now, I wanted to record a video of me actually talking in person, but I can't right now. But I will. I'm gonna work on that. Hopefully before episode 8 comes, so I'll be ready for that. But anyway, yeah, with Salem and Crystal, I'm really glad. Well, let me just start by saying that as far as Sailor Moon, I've always been a big anime fan, and the first time I've seen Sailor Moon, it wasn't in animation. It was actually at a store, and it was in a Kmart, and it was a pair of girls' shoes, and it had like all the interchange right on there. And I remember seeing the box and thinking to myself, "Wow, what is this show? What is this cartoon series called?" And I was just so blown away about it. And now, the character that got me the most was Sailor Mars. Just that image of her with the red and the long black hair, that really, oh my God, I love that image. So, and then the second time I seen Sailor Moon, and I think that was back in, I want to say like maybe 1995. I want to say that, yeah. Anyway, the second time I saw Sailor Moon was actually in a commercial. It was a commercial for the dolls. I'm not sure if they were the the uh, the Iwan, the American U.S. Canadian dolls or the actual Japanese dolls. But it was a commercial for the dolls, and this commercial aired during Superhuman Samurai Squad. If you remember that show back in the day with Matthew Lawrence. Anyway, so I would just watch that show just to see that commercial for the dolls, and I love watching that commercial for the dolls. And so when I watched the commercial for the dolls, I didn't understand what Sailor Moon was really. I thought Sailor Moon was just like a power all the girls shared. I didn't know it was actual character. And so even with that commercial, the Sailor Scout I saw the most, who I identified with was Sailor Mars because she was just so dark and mysterious. I love that. So this is funny because when I started to watch the actual series, it came on the USA Network back in 1997. So during this time, I was going to summer school. So, and summer school it started the same hours as regular school, but we got out early. And I went to summer school for math, and um, so we started out at 9, I believe, and we ended the day at two in the afternoon. But anyway, I would watch Sailor Moon every single day on the USA Network. I think it came on at 7:30. And man, when I found out what Sailor Moon was and how, okay, this is an actual character, she transforms, I fell in love with the series. Um, I really did enjoy it. And even though watching for the first time on the American, is it American? In the American format, I was blown away. I thought it was so, so good. But also during that time, I was watching other anime as well. Because the 90s, I remember there was so much anime to watch. There was Sailor Moon and Samurai Pizza Cats. Ronin Warriors was a kick-ass show. I really loved that. And also at the same time, if you watch the Sci-Fi Channel on Saturday mornings, you'll see Saturday morning anime on the Sci-Fi Channel. So I loved watching that too. And I was a big fan of Project A and Vampire Hunter D and Demolition Tank Police and Akira and God, what else was there? Rosian Z and just Fatal Fury, the motion picture too. That one, oh my God, there was so much great anime during that time. And again, it all came back down to Sailor Moon because that was a series I watched consistently. But anyway, I will watch it like I said before. Um, And then, at the time, I didn't know there was more to Sailor Moon. I just knew, it was a show. That was it. That's all I knew. I didn't know about, and during this time, this is in 1997. So by this time, the mangas, is already written out. The toys have already been released. You have uh, musicals and merchandise, but all this is happening in Japan. So I had no idea, and the internet was kind of scarce back then. And one of my first internet searches was similar to yours, was me searching up Sailor Moon pictures. I was obsessed with Sailor Moon, and I got more. And to go into this, you know, I remember buying, video game books, like Electronic Gaming Monthly was one of the books I bought, and a lot of video game books. And I would watch. I'm sorry, I would read the magazines, but I would always go straight to the back of the magazine because that's where they would show, like, advertisements for Sailor Moon, like posters or dolls and things like that. I was like, oh my God, I want that. I want that so bad. So I never got a chance to get any of that stuff, back then. So that would be one reason why I would buy that magazine, just to look at those pictures of sailor soldiers. And going on the internet, I would look up, pictures of the outer senchai. I didn't know who they were either, really, at the time. I just knew they were Sailor Scouts, and I was like, okay, cool, great, more scouts, more soldiers. But anyway, I remember at this point, like in 1999 and in 2000, by this time, Sailor Moon was on Cartoon Network. And at the same time, I was really busy with school and trying to get my grades on the right track and all. So I didn't know Cartoon Network was showing Sailor Moon S at the time. So it was to my surprise, changing the channel and going, channel surfing, I found Sailor Moon S on Cartoon Network. And I was like, oh my God, this is Outer Sunshine. And I remember the first episode I watched of Sailor Moon S was when they are like, it was Mina and Serena at the time. They were figuring out this new hot guy at school, or this new hot guy in town, and it was actually Hamara. And they didn't know Hamara was actually a girl. That was the first Sailor Moon S episode I watched. So I continued to watch Sailor Moon S throughout Cartoon Network, and it went all the way up to Sailor Moon Super S, and it stopped there. And then, about time, I watched, the movies and looked up fan art online. I'm a big fan of closet play. I never cosplayed myself, but I love seeing those photos online of people cosplaying other Sailor Moon characters. So I'm a big Sailor Moon fan. Um, so then, eventually, the series was not on TV anymore. And then we moved on to the live action series, which I thought was pretty good. In my opinion, some people think it was pretty cheesy and over the top, but I liked the live action series. Um, and during that time, by that time, I was starting community college. Yeah, community college. And this was back in 2003, 2004, 2005. So YouTube, I don't think YouTube was out yet, and it wasn't as popular as it is nowadays. But during that time, as each episode of the Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon would come out, I would look it up online through Google and see screenshots of what happened. So even though I didn't actually see the actual video footage of the show, I would see the screenshots and the people loving the show. I would see people like rooting for the actresses and saying, "Oh my gosh, she's really good. She brought her role. She's doing great." And again, with Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, I love Sailor Mars. Sailor Mars is the best to me. She's the fierce one. She she's no BS, So I'm a big fan of Sailor Mars. So I'm not sure how do you pronounce her name, Kiko Karawagika or something like that. If I'm mispronouncing her name, I'm so sorry. But she is, like, to this day, one of my favorite actresses. So I'm a big fan of the PGSL. Um, as far as the current state of Sailor Moon, we have Sailor Moon Crystal. I'm so happy Sailor Moon came back. Man, we waited a long time for it because I remember when in 2012, where the announcement was made that Sailor Moon Crystal will come out, I was just like, oh wow. Well, at least the reboot of the show come out in 2012. I was like, oh wow, it's gonna come out, and I remember waiting and waiting and waiting and going on all these message boards and just like, oh my god, when is this coming out? Because I was just so bummed out. And then when it finally came out, I was so happy. And before that, all these like speculations and uh, images, false images would come out saying, oh, "Okay, someone's coming out in this day," and it really wasn't. That was kind of frustrating. But I'm glad Salem's coming back. Well, it's here already, and so far I think it's great. I'm a big fan of it, but there's some things that kind of bother me about Sailor Moon right now. But I go into that as I go in through with this video. But as far as animation, I'm fine with it. I'm happy with the animation. I think it's good animation. Yeah, it can have its moments of looking odd in certain frames, but I mean, if you're actually picking a frame and criticizing a frame, that's being a little bit too picky for me personally. It's no big deal to me. It's just a frame. And animation always, animation today it is always getting better. If you look at animation back, back in the 1920s and the 1930s, when you had that cartoon Steamboat Mickey, it was in black and white. You go, I don't know, 30 years later, or 40 or 20 years later, you have cartoons that are now in color and have more action, like, Tom and Jerry cartoons. You go into the 80s, then we got cartoons like Transformers and Gemini holograms. And then, in the 90s, of course, we had Sailor Moon, but we also had other cartoon series, uh, such as, uh, Gargoyles, which I love. And I'm surprised to this day, we don't have like a Gargoyles live action movie because I love it. I remember watching that shit series too, Gargoyles and Sailor Moon. I could watch those two all day. And now we're in 2014 with Sailor Moon Crystal, so now we have CGI, which I think is great. So the animation doesn't really bother me that much. I think it's pretty good. Um, I want to talk about Naru, Molly. I think Naru, there's more to Naru. She had, and this is referring back to the 90s anime. Naru, for example, she had a relationship, I guess you can say, with Nephrite, and she cared about him. And in the dubbed version, they called him Maxwell Stanton. I think it's Maxwell Stanton or something like that. But anyway, they called him that, and she had a crush on him. She loved him, and he cared for her too. Even though looking back on it, you would think at this time Molly is 14 years old, and Nephrite, for all we know, he's over probably over 1,000 years old, but appears as a grown ass man. So you look at that relationship and you think, oh, he has kind of pedophilia right there. You may think, but no. Um, the one episode that got to me was when, and this is some spoilers, so if you've never seen the dub version, try to put this on mute, I guess. But anyway, in the dub version, Nephi died in her arms after he was stabbed. And that was pretty intense. That was pretty intense. That almost made me cry during that time. That's a pretty intense episode. But then, of course, later on, Naru, she is with Umuro, Molly and Melvin. They're together. And the last time I remember seeing like Naru really having a role at all was like in Sailor Moon R. And I don't remember her seeing her in S or Super S, or definitely I don't remember seeing her anywhere in Stars. Maybe she was there in Stars, but I don't remember seeing her in Stars. Um, so I mean, you gotta give. Never has a moments in the beginning of the series, but throughout the last three seasons, I don't remember you seeing her at all. Maybe she was there, but I don't remember it. As far as the merchandise, this is my thing with the merchandise right now. I think the merchandise is great, but I do have my complaints. I don't like the fact that it's so overpriced. I don't like when it comes to wand, and that's another thing. Like you have these lockets that are coming out. I got some. I got like two lockets. I have the locket, the uh, the locket that she receives in Sailor Moon R. The one with the star and the jewels of the other Sailor Scouts. I have that locket, and I have the Moon Crescent wand, which I like. But I think that with these items, they need to be of lower price. And the reason being is that, you know, it's just ridiculous to pay so much amount of money for a device. Not, I don't say device, but for a toy that's not going to do anything, like the Locket. It doesn't light up. It doesn't play music or whatever. It doesn't do that much. So why should I have to pay that much money for it? Even though I did buy it, I think it's dumb that it doesn't do anything. And another gripe of mine is this: the dolls. So they released these big head Pupil dolls. These dolls are ugly to me. I don't like anything about them. And if you are a Sailor Moon fan and you like these dolls, then more power to you because I think these dolls are absolutely hideous. I'm so pissed off. Whoever made this decision to release these dolls, shame on you because I was really looking forward to the Licochin dolls of the 1990s. Those dolls, that came out during the 90s where, they either spoke back to you because you used the wand and it made the doll talk, or the beauty change dolls, or just the basic Sailor Moon doll. But the Lichen dolls are I think, are a lot more pleasant looking and a lot more beautiful than these Pupil dolls. These Pupil dolls look like aliens to me. Their heads are extremely big. I never had a Pupil doll, but I'm assuming that's like a wig on the doll's head. Like you can take the hair off. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like the hair is not rooted in the actual head. They just look weird. I'm sorry. And it kind of upsets me because I was really that was one of the things I was looking forward to as far as the dolls being released, or just merchandise in general being released, was the Sailor Moon dolls. The Liquid dolls are way better, I think. Liquid dolls are better in general because they look sweet. They're not as sexualized as Barbie is. But no, these Pro dolls are weird. They are weird. Oh my god, they're so weird. But I rather be a doll collector, and I'm not even into dolls, but I love Sailor Moon that much. I will buy every single doll. So if the company, Toei Animation, or whoever is in charge of releasing dolls and merchandise, release them as Liko-chan dolls. I guarantee you, I will buy every single doll from Sailor Moon's first transformation all the way to Sailor Moon to Sailor Star Healer. I would buy every single one of them. I would buy Moon, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, Chibi Moon, Chibi Moon, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, Saturn, Sailor Star Maker, Sailor Star Fighter, Sailor Star Healer, Tuxedo Command. I will buy every single doll if you release them in the Liko Chan form. Just do that, and they'll sell like hotcakes. Seriously, you can charge like 19.99 for them, or if the doll has special features or whatever to it, or let's say the doll can just like light up or talk, whatever. Okay, then 29.99, I'll still buy it. I would seriously. But that's my little rant on the dolls because I'm kind of pissed off about that. What else? Oh yeah, identifying with a character. I think that a lot of people can identify with Usagi, and this is not to badmouth Usagi. I like Usagi. I think everyone can relate to Usagi because there are times when we don't want to work. There are times where we just want to sleep and eat and be lazy and not be productive. Not that I'm saying Usagi is a bum or anything, but I think we all can relate to, like, oh my god, I don't want to work today. I want to stay in the bed. I don't want to play video games. I want to eat. I don't care if I'm getting away. I just want to be just left alone. I get that. But me personally, I like that and I relate to that to a certain level. But the scout I relate to the most is Mars, is because she she can tell if you're bullshitting. And not to say I'm a mean guy or anything like that, but I think that's why people sometimes people think that Sailor Mars is a bitch, but she's not. I think she just got a bad rap in the dub series. She's not a bitch. She just doesn't tolerate your bullshit. But the thing about Sailor Mars is that she's loyal. She's loyal to her friends. She's loyal. She'll fight for you. She'll believe in you. You just got to prove yourself. And of course, I mean, if you're Sailor Mars and your leader is Usagi, and she is just irresponsible at everything. For example, like, let's say, you know there's going to be a meeting at Ray's house, or Ray's temple. I mean, Usagi would show up late or whatever. Then Ray would get pissed off, and I understand, why she would get pissed off. It's like, you gotta take this seriously. We're fighting monsters and trying to save the world, and you're out here lollygagging around. So I understand where Ray's coming from with that. So for me, it's Sailor Mars. I already explained like my love for Sailor Moon and how I first seen it. My favorite Inner Sentai again is Sailor Mars, hands down. I like Sailor Mars. She physically looks amazing to me. I love the fact that she wears high heels. She has hair down to her butt, and she is throwing fireballs and fighting. That is gorgeous to me. I love that. I think there's something sexy and glamorous about that. So my favorite outer Sentai, you know what? The thing about the outer Sentai, I really can't pick one because I love them all. Like Uranus is so strong and kick ass, and she looks similar to King on King of Fighters. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that or not. There's a character on the video game series called well, she actually was on the Art of Fighting, then she was on the King of Fighters, but there's a character named King, and she looks similar to Sailor Uranus. So I love that strong, personality that she has. And Sailor Uranus, she rides motorcycles, she's daring, she's courageous, I like that. Neptune to me is very classy. Classy, refined, she has style, sophistication, very intelligent. So to me, she kind of reminds me of Jacqueline Smith when she did the character of Kelly Garrett. And Kelly Garrett in Charlie's Angels was very classy and had style, sophistication, was sensitive. So when I think of Sailor Neptune, Michelle, Michiru, I think of Kelly Garrett, Jacqueline Smith back in 1976. So I kind of compare that. Who who else? Sailor Pluto. I love Sailor Pluto. I think she is very mysterious. I love the fact that she has dark skin. And you know, I really don't know much about her personality, to tell you the truth. She seems like all the scouts, kind of all the outer scouts, more reserved and mysterious. But I really don't know much about her personality, to tell you the truth. Even though I've been watching the series for the longest time, Sailor Pluto is the one that kind of, I don't know. It's like I don't know much about her personality and who she is. I'm not saying she doesn't have a personality, but you know, I don't know. I really never understood her personality, or even if she has one. But and that's no diss to her. But Saturn, Hataru is, you know how people like say, like, Amy was a loner and things like that. Hataru is the ultimate loner. Like, she's very goth. She's very, you see her throughout the series wearing this black lace, uh, very innocent, very fragile, very pale. I like her. She kind of reminds me. Who does she remind me of? Uh, I don't want to say Elise from America's Next Top Model, but in a way, kind of similar. Well, not no, not Elise from not Elise from Top Model now. But I don't know. She reminds me of somebody. I'm trying to compare her to somebody. I really can't think of a person. She's her own character, I guess. My favorite villain. My favorite villain is Queen Nehelenia. Nehelenia. She is so wicked and so foul and so disgusting and so just. I love it because she's so narcissistic and so freaky, and she scares the hell out of me. Because it's all about, she wants to be beautiful forever. She wants to sleep in a dream of just beauty and just as serenity forever. And I like the fact that this is going back to the '90s anime, but I like the fact that she was in Sailor Moon Super S, of course, but she was put also into Sailor Stars as well. So she was able to carry the story over to another story, the season finale, the series finale of Sailor Moon. So I thought that was pretty good too. So I like Helenia. She was so wicked. She was scary. She was freaky looking. She had all that crazy blue black hair and those long fingers and stuff. And I can't imagine how she would look in real life. She would scare the hell out of me. If she was a real being, a real queen of power, she'd be so scary to me personally. Um, the best season of Sailor Moon, I have to say, and agree with you. Sailor Moon S is the best season by far, hands down. Sailor Moon S because it number one, we got more sailor soldiers, and then on top of that, you know, we have you know Chibi Moon, which is to me Chibi Moon. I don't know. I like Chibi Moon. I didn't like Mini Moon. Mini Moon, that whole thing with naming her Mini Moon, that was so obnoxious. That was like, what is this? Like, why are you naming her Mini Moon? Is she supposed to be like Mini Me or something? Like, what it is? I thought that was so stupid. Like Mini Me, I couldn't stand that. But I like Chibi Moon. I think she's adorable. She has a lot of pink. So, but going back to the actual story of Sailor Moon S, I liked because it dealt with the I don't want to say like antichrist, but you had Hotaru who was being used as a tool by her dad to resurrect Mistress Nine, and his mind was corrupt, being corrupt at the same time, and then you had Usagi, and it didn't matter how much of evil that was in Hotaru at the time. Usagi knew that it's not Hotaru to blame, and she still wanted to save Hotaru no matter what. And she felt that what is the point of saving the world if someone has to die? You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the fact that Usagi, you know, I'm not sacrificing anybody. If there's a chance we can all live and all survive and get through this, we're gonna do it. And that's one characteristic I do like about Usagi, especially throughout the series, is that she has that in her. So it didn't matter that Mistress Nine was within Hotaru. Usagi was still trying to save Hotaru no matter what. So I thought that was really beautiful. Um, Going back to the outers, and in the English dub, they they were made to be cousins. And and by that time I knew they were lesbians, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. Um, But I knew everyone knew they were lesbians. By the time I think at this time it's like I think it was like in 2000 or 2001 when Sailor Moon S aired on Cartoon Network. And by this time, we have internet. We know what's going on. We know the truth. By now, we know they're lesbian lovers. And big deal. So definitely, Sailor Moon S is the best one in my opinion. So what else? My favorite episode of Sailor Moon. Okay, so I got my favorite episodes in each season, but if I have to pick my favorite episode from the classic season, it is Little Miss Manners. And you should know this episode. Basically, it's basically Sailor Moon. It's by the time Usagi, Serena, whatever you want to call her, she is she's revealed to be the moon. She is the Moon Princess now. She knows she is the Moon Princess. So she goes to a finishing school to learn how to be more of a lady. And of course, Usagi Serena is an epic fail at everything she does, except for the discus. She can throw a discus, no matter what. So then, of course, the rest of the girls join in and say, "Hey, we want to be ladies too, and princesses too." And then during the time, the final exam was basically to dance. Well, do the waltz pretty good, whatever. So and Minako, Ray, and Usagi, they all failed. So Lita, I'm gonna be mixing their names up. Sorry, Lita and Amy, was will basically whisk away to a different room, or whatever, and that's when the monster came out. The Yama came out and did her thing, and then they fought the Yama, and of course, Loon, came out transformed and saved the day. But that was one of the episodes I remember the most from the classic series. Um, yeah, this one it's one of my favorite episodes. I like the episode. So, uh, as far as me creating my own Senchai, I remember. Now the thing about it is, I used to draw a lot. I was really before my current career. I wanted to be an animator. I wanted to draw comics. I wanted to do all that, and in middle school and also in high school. So anime was a big part of that for me. So the character I drew was a Sailor Scout, and she didn't have a name, but this is how she looked. She had brown skin, but she had really long purple wavy hair. And I didn't pull inspiration from Anthony Himamiya. You know, it wasn't based on her. It was not based on Anthony Himamiya, but that's how my character was. Her hair was like, it was like a lavender, a light lavender, and she had brown skin. She had a teal uh, sailor top and a teal sailor skirt, but and a purple bow in the back and the front. That was my sailor soldier, and she didn't really have a name. I just drew her a long, long time ago. But yeah, and as far as what I want to see in the series, as far as in Sailor Moon Crystal, I am looking forward to seeing Queen Beryl as a human. I want to know more about Queen Beryl and her backstory and how, like, she was in love with Indominion and all that stuff. I want to see her jealousy for the uh, the Moon Princess. That's what I want. I want to see more of Beryl and her backstory because Beryl is scary. Like, and to know that all that wickedness and that bitterness can just build up inside you and eat you to the point of you just being an evil, wicked queen. That's gonna be so interesting to see. Because the thing about it is, like with the manga, I read the manga from Sailor Moon Super S to Stars. And the only reason I read the manga from Super S to Stars was because those episodes weren't even out yet. Or I didn't order them on DVD at the time. So I read from Stars. I'm sorry, I read from Super S to Sailor Stars. Those are the episodes I read, and I was happy with how it ended. And I thought it was cool. But I never read from from the classic first arc stories to like Sailor Moon S. So I don't know exactly what happened in the manga. I'm pretty sure you guys do, but I don't, and that's fine. I don't really care about that. Um, and another thing I would like to see is I know in the manga they have like different specials for the Sentai. I want to see. God, I forget the name of it. I think it's called Ray and Minako's schoolgirl battle or something like that. It's like when Ray. No, I think it's when Minako goes to Ray's school and she's like her classmate or something, and they battle it out in different events or whatever. I want to see that. That's what I like to see. And yeah, that's my response to the Crystal Cast. But I do have a question for you though. I'd like to know why do you call her Monako? I say Minako. I've always said Minako. I remember in the anime they called her Minako. PGSM they called her Minako. I always said Minako. So I don't know. I never said Monako. I don't know. Hey, tomato tomato. But yeah, that's my response to you. I'm gonna start doing reaction videos as soon as I get my camera, and we can get started on this. And yeah, again, I'm a big Sailor Moon fan. I really hope we get the whole series, and hopefully, me personally, I like to see some Licorice dolls because I think Pupil dolls are absolutely hideous and crazy looking. I said it. I'm sorry if you own a Pupil doll. That's great.